A very special veteran.
First Lieutenant Donald Beals was an Army fighter pilot during World War II. He was shot down over Germany. He went missing for 7 decades until last month.
Our Viviana Hurtado picks up this remarkable story. Viviana, you reviewed the Department of Defense file.
I sure did, Jerry and Emily. Here it is, right here. It's this big and dates back to 1945. This Toledo story begins soon after the war ends. Major world events, a full family life for Merle, Lieutenant Beals' sister, and advances in technology. Although she never stops looking for her little kid brother, she called him. It's forensic science, a DNA match that ends her 71-year search. The year 1945, big band is playing on the radio. 2 of the Beals siblings from South Dakota serve in the Army, including Merle as a nurse and her little brother Don. In April, she's furloughed. During her time off, she decides to visit Don, who's serving with the 48th Fighter Bomber Group 494th Squadron. Her own flight delayed, she misses her brother, never to see him again. The Department of Defense documents
the file is that thick.
I know.
With the pictures and photos and everything.
I read every page of it. Reviewed by WTOL 11 News, reconstruct the timeline of events around Lieutenant Beals' death and the 71-year search for his remains. On April 17, 1945, First Lieutenant Donald L. Beals and First Lieutenant Hobart M. Albright take off in their P-47 Thunderbolts. On a reconnaissance mission, they spot German targets, then dive towards them to take them out. Instead, they're met by heavy enemy gunfire. "Pull up, Beals. It isn't worth it." But Lieutenant Beals doesn't hear this command. He'd been hit and crashes near Lonwitz, Germany, at first classified as missing, then killed in action. As Merle celebrates major life milestones, the world marks major events of history. She moves to Toledo after marrying fellow service member Doug Tabner Sr., who later becomes WTOL's first sports director. She raises 4 kids in Ohio. The crash site near Lonwitz becomes part of communist East Germany.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
1989, the Berlin Wall falls, then the communist Iron Curtain. Throughout, Merle never stops looking for her little brother. Over the decades, technology improves, including forensic science, which has a revolutionary impact on the recovery of missing persons. In 2014, the military rings, requesting a DNA sample. A new crash site was discovered that contained shards of a life, glass from a pair of spectacles, a piece of a heel, and ripped fabric from a sweater, and bone fragments from a skull and arm that match Merle's DNA. 7 decades later, Merle got the call for which she'd waited a lifetime. Her little kid brother was found. He was coming home. This journey is 71 years in the making.
So let's get there and get him honored and lay him to rest.
Toledo's news leader was there as the family of Lieutenant Beals arrives in Virginia. Nephew Doug Tabner Jr. and Merle's son comes from Toledo. Some journey from France and California, including Lieutenant Beals' nephew and namesake Don. Designated the next of kin, he receives some recovered personal belongings.
All the medals are in here. All the medals. He got the Distinguished Flying Cross. Also, I have all the artifacts, his coin, his rusted footlocker.
The $1
I got the silver
coin.
dollar.
Wow. So these are
his dog tags.
These are his actual dog tags.
His actual dog tags are in there.
At attention, soldiers and the Patriot Guard riders, veterans who show up to honor fallen soldiers. The family follows the horse-drawn caisson, carrying the casket of Lieutenant Beals to his final resting place, the hallowed grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. Each moment of this full honors military funeral service, an orchestration of centuries-old military ritual. Recognizing the solemnity of the ultimate sacrifice made by a man who formed part of the generation known as the greatest. and his family, who waited nearly 3/4 of a century to say welcome home and rest in peace.
Came out of nowhere at us and really provided some closure, which we didn't even know that we needed.
As Lieutenant Beals' family turns the page on this chapter that became woven into the American story, they hope theirs gives strength to other military families waiting for their loved ones to be found.
Don't give up hope. There's somebody out there looking for you.
The ending of this story is bittersweet. Lieutenant Beals' sister Merle died just a couple of weeks after learning the news, but her son Doug says in peace, knowing that her brother would come back to be buried in American soil. Viviana Hurtado in studio. Back to you guys.
Viviana, thanks so much. So she searched a lifetime, and at least she got to know. She just couldn't be there for the burial. What a story, Viviana. Thank you.